Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are discussing the tactics that Dallas is providing against Minnesota's offense, how they are trying to stop the most explosive player in the game, Anthony Edwards, and how they're trying to limit their offense in general, and how it's slightly different than what Denver did. Let's go. So the first thing that every offensive team is going to talk about, or every team on defense is going to talk about, is Anthony Edwards. You got to stop Anthony Edwards. You just have to. He is so explosive. He's so good at getting downhill. He's so difficult to stop once he gets to the rim that you have to limit him before he gets there. So Dallas's big philosophy here is they are going to prevent him from ever getting that head of steam. He takes two dribbles downhill, instantly met with another defender. Dallas is saying as long as it's not essentially Gafford, they're going to switch it to keep Anthony Edwards contained because you know that you have help right here. What is this motion that this defender is doing right here? He's saying, come over here. Right? We're playing help defense, okay? Essentially pack line defense for the NBA. They're saying, get over here in this gap. We are going to make Anthony Edwards to get rid of the ball. Right? And so Anthony Edwards chooses to go away from the help that he saw coming, but what's right here? More help. Right? Kyrie's just chilling right here. Right? Either way that Anthony Edwards is going to go, they are saying you are going to have help. And the player that's open right here, given essentially the way the Timberwolves are playing, is this pass right here. This is a high level pass. Difficult pass. And Anthony Edwards, I firmly believe, does not make super high level passes on a consistent basis. And so you force him to get rid of this ball, especially if he's already leaving his feet, is a terrible idea, and he sails it into the third row. And this overarching philosophy applies not just to Anthony Edwards, but essentially to the whole team, is they are going to prioritize the rim in every single situation they can. On any drives, they are showing help, especially if Rudy Gobert is in the game. Look at this. One pass away, there's no driving room for Ant right there. No driving. Luka in the paint. Kyrie helping off. And then obviously 21, who's guarding Rudy, is ignoring him completely. Even when this back screen is set, to get Cat an open look, they're still not like, oh, we got to overreact. We got to get outside the Cat. They're like, yeah, get through the screen when you can. However, our priority is going to be stay attached to the rim. And then we jump to game two, and we're going to see if they employ the same tactics. The first thing we're going to look at is the concept of making Anthony Edwards pass the ball. Okay, so every single time Anthony Edwards goes to drive, I think you have to show so much help because he's so explosive getting downhill. Okay, so if you just force him to get rid of this ball, you force Naz Reid to make a difficult decision, and you get the ball out of Anthony Edwards' hands. Not only this, but Anthony Edwards does not make the cleanest passes. He just does not do it. And so if you force him to make the pass, I think it's a win across the board. You get the ball out of his hands, you force him to make a decision, and you put the ball in somebody else's hands. And Anthony Edwards had several crucial turnovers at the end of this game, leading like in the last fourth quarter with the game on the line. Obviously, if they score here, like they have a chance to like isolate the game, it's over. However, again, your concept is force Ant to pass the ball in difficult situations. Not only this, but it has the other benefit of communicating to the Timberwolves coaching staffs that maybe Anthony Edwards is going to make difficult decisions or bad decisions in these moments, and so they don't want the ball in his hands, which just has more benefits if you're from Dallas's perspective. Again, they have a little switch right there because you have good defenders that can rotate. And showing help. Look at this. You got three defenders that are all ready to stop on Anthony Edwards' drive right here, two defenders right in his face, and then once he picks up the ball, then you can go back. He can't dribble anymore. He can't move anymore. Now forced to make the difficult decision. This was probably an open pass right here. He didn't have it. For some reason, Minnesota has two players in the corner right here next back to back. Anthony Edwards doesn't have a plan. He goes up to create something and then tries to get bailed out with a pass afterwards, and that is not going to lead to good offense. Dallas has to force Anthony Edwards to get rid of the ball, and they've done a good job of it so far. And then this stems to the overarching concept that Dallas is just trying to help more and more, and we're going to see this in the fourth quarter of game two as well. So on any drives right here, help. Dallas is ready to rotate. They're essentially ignoring good shooters on the perimeter and saying, you can't punish us immediately, and so we have time to recover with Luka out here. And then you have, frankly, not great shooters that you can semi-ignore, but as soon as Ant backs up, then you have time to essentially recover. Again, we got drive, and if he's not going to shoot this ball right here, which you're trying to discourage because he's a very good shooter, you're giving time to react. And frankly, Gobert could potentially be open here, but what's happened? On the backside, same thing. Naz Reid has been lights out, shot the ball unbelievably well this whole playoffs. This player right here, the defender, is not worried about Naz Reid. Said Gobert is the bigger threat in this situation. I'm going to help over, and I'm going to go get that ball. And then the possession that frankly would have also won the game. If they could score on this possession or the one with Anthony Edwards' turnover, they would have just won this game easily. It wouldn't have even been close, wouldn't have given the chance for Luka. Drive happens, they switch. What are they doing? Showing help. Right here. Kyrie is all the way over. This is an easy pass for a three. If you're willing to shoot that ball, it just is. Kyrie's saying, I'm going to stop Anthony Edwards first. That is my priority. Luka is helping over as well. Anthony Edwards waits until he backs up. That's when he decides to pass this ball, and he gets it in a much more difficult situation where Dallas has the opportunity to essentially double in a very difficult spot for the Timberwolves, and McDaniels ends up turning it over. It might have been a foul, whatever, but I mean, shows the overarching philosophy of what Minnesota or what Dallas is trying to provide. These defensive situations is what allowed Dallas to be in the situation to be able to get this kind of offensive look. Okay? We talked about in my past video, which I'll link after this, is how Minnesota has been playing Luka in the ball screen. They chose not to do this at the end, and Luka against Rudy Gobert is going to be a difficult matchup for Rudy Gobert, and he buries the three. A unbelievable shot with the game on the line, but the defense is what put them in that position. And then finally, on the last play of the game with 3 seconds, plenty of time to get up a good look. What happens on this ant drive? Help. Again, they're prioritizing. Anthony Edwards passed the ball. Naz Reid, you shot the ball well. We don't care. We cannot give up a drive to Anthony Edwards. Instead, we are going to stick to our core tenets of defense, and because of it, they get the win.